It's a bad error. This shouldn't be passive. This should be active. And it already affects my understanding of the essay. Ouch. Ouch. That's a bad error. Hey, English learner. Are you again alone watching YouTube videos to improve your English and increase your IELTS writing score while everybody else is watching some other things and, spending their time away? Good. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start assessing an essay today. Some people believe that all children should have a pet or an animal to look after. Other people disagree, however, saying that this depends on a child's circumstances. Consider these opposing views and give your own opinion. I know you're probably thinking that this is a discussion-led essay. Yeah, but from the IELTS perspective, it is actually an essay with three main elements or three main points. We need to address and develop the first camp, which it's a camp full of people who believe that every child needs to have a pet. And the second main opinion is related to the second camp, with people who believe that, yeah, children should have pets, but we need to consider their circumstances. And the third main point is your own opinion, is the writer's opinion. So what the writer thinks, in this case, what you and me think. Let's carry on reading together and let's assess this response together. Nowadays, the subject of whether it is an absolute necessity for children to possess a domestic animal or not is highly contentious in a way that has provoked heated arguments among its opponents and proponents. That's just beautiful. I'm already blown away. This is the very first sentence, and look at the vocabulary: necessity, domestic animal, correct collocation, contentious, provoke, heated argument. Again, very good collocation. Opponents and proponents. Opponents are the ones who disagree. Proponents are the ones who agree. I am just in love already. This is so beautiful. That's a very solid, beautiful opening. Let's continue. Nevertheless, there are rational justifications on both sides of this topical debate, beautiful, which will be discussed in detail. I don't need S. In detail, British pronunciation, in detail, American pronunciation, followed by a concluding view on the matter. Apart from me being blown away already, this introduction gives me a very, very good opening to the entire essay. I am introduced to two camps now, and I know there are people who believe that children should have pets, and there are those who believe no, there must be some conditions attached to it. And at the end there will be a concluding view. It doesn't directly say to me that this is going to be the writer's opinion, but I'm going to take it as the writer's opinion anyway. But you don't have to be shy like this. You don't have to hide your identity and say, yeah, there will be a view. And you don't mention my opinion, or you don't say I believe, because somehow they may sound very egotistical to you. Don't worry about that. When IELTS asks you your opinion, say it is your opinion. Okay, you just go ahead and tell IELTS that that's me. Hey, it's me. That's my opinion. And that is fine. Nobody is going to accuse you of not being modest. Now let's continue. On the one hand, I like this connector, this transition, I like it. The supporters of pet ownership point out that those children who take care of pets are more likely to take in some valuable skills. Yeah. So they are going to learn some skills. That's one good point. It continues, including, this comma is correct here, including patience and responsibility, which are incredibly beneficial for their future. Beautiful. I haven't read the paragraph yet, but in the topic sentence, I know which camp it is going to be covering. It's the camp that believes every child needs to be an owner of a pet. And there are two main pillars for this opinion that it contributes to patience and responsibility of these children. I like that. I'm just explaining the structure that this sentence is creating in my head. For instance, training a pet can be a lesson in patience, since they will not act as children's wish all the time. That's correct. This can be an example, and yeah, training a pet. You know, I needed maybe one more element, like training a pet, for example, to fetch a stick. You know, when you play fetch with a dog. So that I look at it as a lost opportunity, because we could go a little deeper and make it look exactly like an example. But here it's just like training a pet. It's more like explaining something to me. It's borderline, it's very gray. It can be considered an example, or it can be considered an explanation. That's why I am suggesting that when you want to write, you actually mention some specific examples. Or even feeding and bathing them regularly, the comma, by the way, is correct here, can foster children's sense of responsibility. I see. I see. They're responsible. When they train the pet, when they feed the pet and bathe the pet, all of them, very good. Together, they can be considered examples of taking care of a pet. But that's just one sentence, and I'm already moving on to the other element, which is going to be, the first one was patience, the other one was responsibility. Okay. So the first one was patience, and this one is going to be about responsibility. It is often stated that pets help kids to learn an active and healthy lifestyle. Moreover, it is often stated that pets help kids to lead an active and healthy lifestyle, particularly in today's technologically focused, I don't need this hyphen, world, that children immerse themselves in watching television or playing video games nonstop. Okay, these are good examples. Now, this part is about children being more active and healthy. So pet ownership can help improve the child's sense of responsibility and their patience. And now it helps them become healthier individuals. Very good, very good. I have one little issue here. The topic sentence doesn't cover health. Look at this. The opponents of point out that children take care, blah, 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 in some valuable skills, including patience and responsibility, which are incredibly beneficial for the future. It just includes patience and responsibility. Then we had one sentence talking about patience and responsibility together, and we didn't have a sentence covering health and being active. That wasn't there in the topic sentence. So the topic sentence is okay, but it's not generic. And it gives examples like including this and that. Yes, it is, maybe the topic sentence is generic, but why you discriminate? Like the topic sentence gives more value to the first development, the first item, and doesn't give more value to the second one. I wonder why. And that is, it's not perfect. That's all I'm saying. I mean, the paragraphing, the organization of sentences, the coherence, the coherence is fine, but the cohesion inside needs some work. Let's move on to the next paragraph. On the other hand, those who are opposed to this mindset, oh no. Those who oppose this mindset, because there are people who oppose the mindset that we talked about earlier. If we say people who are opposed, means there are other people who oppose these people that we are going to talk about. But we haven't talked about these people. And these people are the ones that they actually oppose the previous opinion, which is stated in this paragraph. So they are the subject. They oppose something. They disagree with something. It's like when you say those who are disagreed with, meaning you and I disagree with those people. But that's not the case here. The case here is there are people who disagree with what we just said here. This is the mindset in the previous paragraph. So this shouldn't be passive. That's a bad error. This shouldn't be passive. This should be active. And it already affects my understanding of the essay. Ouch. Ouch. That's a bad error. Let's continue. To this mindset, highlight the huge financial burden accrued, wow, from owning a pet. Nice word choice. In other words, maintaining pets imposes enormous expenses on families, which range from veterinary costs to their foods. Look at the vocabulary, guys. Veterinary, I don't know, maintain, enormous. I like them. Consequently, not many families are able to bear such expenditures. Beautiful. So the first issue or the first circumstance is money. Additionally, the time involved in looking after them is worth taking into account. So now the second issue is time. That is to say, a massive amount of time is required for nurturing them, correct? And the comma is correctly used here. It is blatantly obvious, look at the collocation, guys, wow, blatantly obvious, that they are parents who need to take most of the heat. Amazing. Amazing. Therefore, if parents are tied up, they fail to live up to this responsibility. This is zero conditional. We have both sides in present simple. That's a correct use of this grammatical style here because we are stating a fact, and it is always correct. If you are tied up, you fail to do something. That is always correct. I really like the second body paragraph more. It is more organized. I know that there are two elements, money and time, that they must be considered, or they must be taken into consideration when you want to own a pet. And that is very true. And also the matter of parenting. The parents are the main responsible individuals in a house. We shouldn't ignore them as well. This is a much better paragraph, apart from this error here. Generally speaking, the organization in the second paragraph is much clearer. Oh, we're getting to the end. Sad. To conclude, it would appear that children can benefit considerably from keeping a pet, from mastering some absolutely essential skills, to avoiding a sedentary life. So the skills were patience and learning the responsibility, or being responsible, and also avoiding sedentary life, which is equivalent to being active and, being healthy, and not just sitting in front of a TV and playing games. Provided that their families can meet the cost of health care. The cost of healthcare refers to the cost of healthcare for the pet, and medical care of pets, correct, as well as the time entailed protecting them. So if the condition or the conditions are met, then yes, you can have the pet. So the writer kind of takes both opinions. So the writer believes that every child should have a pet, and when they acquire a pet, they must take into consideration that parents are there as well, and there is time and money involved. And those are the two elements that you need to take into consideration. Very good. 324 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. That is just beautiful. You can see all 8s and 9s, literally, apart from this, that a passive voice was used instead of an active voice. And it conveys the message to me that the writer doesn't have full command over grammatical range and accuracy and their meaning. Plus, this wasn't just a mere error. It affects the understanding. It affects the meaning of the message you want to convey. So apart from that, the rest, the other numbers are just 8 and 9, 8 and 9, 8 and 9. I mean, what else do you want me to say? For task response, I needed maybe one more sentence to explain in full for the first body paragraph. For coherence and cohesion, again, the first body paragraph needed a little bit more work in paragraphing, just to make sure that the cohesion or the transition between sentences is more fluent and more natural and correct. For vocabulary, you saw the range was definitely wide and all of them were used skillfully. I picked maybe a couple of errors, 1 or 2 errors for vocabulary and in total. So that's an 8 for you. All in all, I'm very happy that you spent time watching this video, and I hope this video helped you improve your English or make you feel more determined to work on your writing skills and improve your scores as well. Remember, your letter, report, or essay are going to be your representative. So make sure they will be such a representative that make you proud. Take care.